All right, welcome in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Glad you're with us. It is Thursday, December the 4th, right here on Jocks. Some interesting college football news today. A lot of Lane Kiffin talk today. Mark Schlabach going to be with us at 8:30. He's got an article up at ESPN.com on the exit from Oxford of Lane Kiffin. Richard Cross spoke to Keith Carter yesterday on Head to Head Radio. We'll talk to Richard at 9:30 today. Just to give you a little tidbit, though, a little insight into how that conversation went. We'll start the conversation with this morning. This is Richard Cross asking Keith Carter when Lane knew that he wasn't going to be able to continue to coach if he were to leave Ole Miss.
When was Lane Kiffin told that he would not coach Ole Miss in the playoff? Because he very publicly has said over and over that is something that he wanted to do and didn't seem to be able to understand why that wasn't going to work.
Yeah, there's been a lot of things he said publicly that I'm not sure are totally accurate. I think that both coach and his representation knew, several weeks ago that the coaching in the playoffs was not going to be an option if he was not the Ole Miss head coach. And, I think
him finding out at 8:30 on Sunday morning for the very first time that he would not be coaching the playoff is not accurate?
No, that's not accurate. That's not accurate. The only thing that was a little bit of a wrinkle in it, Richard, was the fact that if Auburn had beaten Alabama, we were going to play in the SEC championship. That threw a little wrinkle in it. Not to say he would have coached in that game, but with the shorter time period, that was maybe the only little nuance to it. But absolutely, it was very clear that coaching in the postseason was not going to be an option for Coach Kiffin, a few weeks ago.
So that's what a lot of folks will give you in defense of Lane Kiffin, actually. And they'll say, Greg, that, well, he wasn't able to coach. They didn't let him. So, which I still don't understand why that changes the thought of he didn't finish the job. Like, he still went and found another job and left.
Nothing changes.
People struggle with that.
Nothing changes. Nothing has changed this whole time. He left citing it being a more manageable opportunity, more sustainable recruiting, more high school recruiting. And if he left, he wasn't going to be able to coach in the playoff, and he chose to leave. I don't feel like – I don't know why it requires so much explanation. Like, we all know the story. I guess I don't really understand, because Lane is saying that he was asked to leave on Sunday.
Well, yeah, I think the timeline's not meeting up with what Keith Carter laid out for him yesterday. And it's a little bit odd just to think about the fact that, the defense of this would be that the school wasn't going to let him. To which I don't really think is, when I have discussed it, is my point as far as not finishing the job. You sought out other opportunities. You took those. And to me, that's the reason that you didn't finish the season as the head coach. Because if you've taken the other job, the school has the right to then be able to do that.
Yes.
So,
but, I mean, he could take the other job or say he's taking the other job. The Ole Miss is putting an ultimatum on him. And then he can get suspended or fired, and then they have to pay him for that. I mean, there's a whole bunch of ways to be able to handle this, but I guess I just don't find it I don't find it as dramatic as everybody else finds it, I suppose. Everybody else like, oh my gosh. Obviously. Like, it's obvious to me what went down in this whole situation. He decided to take another job. The Ole Miss athletic director administration, in an effort to protect themselves, and probably, there were some feelings hurt in this situation too. Some emotions went into this. In an effort to protect themselves, said, you have to leave. We're promoting from within to at least give us some stability in the near term, and to put forth the united front. And hopefully us promoting from within would lead to us being able to have a little bit of coaching continuity with the remainder of the staff. Maybe some guys want to stay with Pete as opposed to going to LSU. And then we move forward and we reassess things after next season. Like, let's get through the playoffs. I guess I just don't really understand what's so dramatic about it.
Yeah. And it's
unprecedented.
There's no doubt about that. And I think just unexpected. And I do think, as we talked about on Monday, this is one of the more polarizing topics in college football that I think I've been around, because it really does feel like people are line drawn in the sand, one side or the other. You either look at this and you say it's the school's fault that they didn't let him, or it's his fault that he chose not to. And I realize that there can be contextual differences with both of those, but people are pretty stringent on one or the other. And
right.
there doesn't seem to be a lot of gray area on either side. I do have a full understanding that Ole Miss basically told him to kick rocks once he said, I'm taking the LSU job.
Yeah.
Which I understand Keith Carter's stance on that.
Totally.
It's one of your rivals. It's a hated rival. It's a team that you're going to play every year. And your obvious focus is not going to be on this team any longer. You had the opportunity to discuss those kids going to play for you over there. And you're trying to go win a championship, which is the ultimate goal. And the one thing that you always want to try to strive towards, yet you've admitted you're not going to be there to help your team go do that. So,
yeah.
And the flip side of that just being, you went and found those other opportunities, therefore chose not to finish the season with this team.
Correct. And you could also make the case that Keith Carter's not giving his team the best chance to win the championship by not having Lane Kiffin on the sideline. Like, there are rights on both sides. There are wrongs on both sides of this thing. Nobody's out of this thing scot-free, but nobody ever would be. Do you think Keith Carter's giving his team the best chance to win a championship right now by not having Lane Kiffin out there? Probably not.
No, probably not.
Like,
no.
I mean, you make a tweak right before snap, do his whistle, and give a double move if he sees single coverage or whatever. Like, yeah, I mean, I think Lane Kiffin is advantageous to have him on the sideline. And you can deny his importance all you want, but the reality is the guy's pretty good at what he does.
Well, then just the distraction portion of that, too.
Totally.
That guys are going to have to talk about, they're going to have to deal with. There's going to be a change in operation. I mean, Pete Golding will try to do things as close to the same as he can, but he's a different human. So some things will be a little bit different.
100%.
I think you could also flip that around and say Lane Kiffin is not giving Ole Miss the best chance to win a national championship.
Yeah, and I just think Lane Kiffin absolutely is not. We know that. I mean, not everybody is out of this thing scot-free. Like, nobody. I mean, it's an ugly situation, and it's super polarizing. But I haven't heard as many people. A lot of people are down on Lane Kiffin, citing his morality and what he's done in the past. And also, by the way, I'm fine with all that. You can feel how you want to feel about Lane Kiffin, and you can cite, well, Ole Miss is not a better job. That's fine too. If you look at it that way, that's fine as well. I don't think there's anyone that can look at this and say this is 100% certain the way it is, because I think it's a matter of perspective. It's all a matter of perspective. Like me, if I were in Lane's shoes, I would have a hard time walking away from the playoff. I couldn't do it. I don't have the wherewithal to do that. I would struggle way too much and have regret for the rest of my life for walking away from this team. I couldn't do it. So I would have had my feet held to the fire, would have ultimately ended up staying at Ole Miss. And ultimately I might've been 2 4-8 away from being out of the job. Like, that's why I have not really ever been super critical of the coaches, because they're one or two literally, we are 2 years removed from Mike Norvell being God's gift to football, and they cannot run him out of Tallahassee fast enough. If they could afford to fire him, they would. That was 2 years ago. I mean, these guys they're the hottest. 2 years ago, Mark Stoops was in line to take the Texas A&M job. It was done. It's over until somebody got real fired up about him taking the job. And next thing you know, within 2 years, he's accepting a buyout of $38 million. They are paying him $38 million in the next 60 days not to coach. James Franklin was in the semifinal 8 months before he was fired. Brian Kelly was 3 years into his tenure and was fired. Like, you really going to blame Lane Kiffin for restarting the clock when he is at a place that has had to rely heavily on the portal? Like, you're 1 year away from having a 4-8, and then you're on the hot seat. I don't blame any of these coaches for doing what they do. I really don't. But at the same time, I couldn't do what he did. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just personally couldn't do it. I'd struggle too much.
This way, you mean?
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I would have stayed, and if I get fired next year, I get fired next year. So be it. But I couldn't leave a championship opportunity on the table. I just couldn't do it. My heart wouldn't let me. But I'm not a coach.
Yeah, and the opportunity is incredible. I don't think anybody would debate that, would argue that. I can see his side of it, but at the end of the day, as I stated on Monday, finish is inherently in everything we do in football. And it is celebrated. It is asked for. It is demanded in a lot of instances. and this is not that, no matter how you spin it for me. So, and like I said Monday, I'm not mad at him. This doesn't affect my feelings, my emotions. It's just surprise on my part that you would get to this point with a team and not finish it, not get it over the finish line. So it's his choice to do it that way. It's his choice to make it. We've now heard a little bit from Keith Carter. We'll talk to Richard Cross, in the final hour of the show about it. Get a little bit more from him on where this thing is, where this thing was, maybe where it could have been. When you hear the different sides of it, Greg, do you come to some sort of a conclusion of where they could have met in the middle that would have been mutually beneficial? It doesn't feel to me like there was really any way.
I don't think there was much of a desire to meet in the middle. I think it's pretty simple from Keith Carter's vantage point. Like, Keith Carter's upset, understandably. He's got to protect his program. So, like, there was no way that he was ever going to let Lane have his cake and eat it too. There's no way. Like, do I think that gives him the best chance to win a championship? No, I don't. But I also don't blame him for protecting his program.
Should Lane have played this differently?
I don't know what you could have done. If you ultimately want to be at LSU, and that's the dream job, and that's the best job, I think it is one of the best jobs in college football, top 3 probably. If that's the best job, I don't know I don't know how you handle it. It's an impossible situation. I guess I don't. Everyone that has this, this is the way you should have done it. This is the way you should have done it. You tell me how you would handle this. Your dream job is sitting right there. You're the best job, one of top 3 best jobs in college football is sitting right there.
The one thing I'll say to that is the dream job was leaving Tennessee.
At SC.
Correct.
Don't disagree with that. Whatever. But I think LSU is a better job in USC. Fair.
I agree with that. But
okay.
Just that was the reasoning given for leaving Tennessee. So
okay, well, fair. But the better job of all those jobs, USC, Tennessee, LSU, and Ole Miss, what's the best job?
LSU.
Yes. How hard is it to live annually in the portal?
It's tough, but he's proven that it's. We talked about this earlier in the year when I talked about how he was kind of changing his mindset on the kind of receivers he wanted, that it may actually be more beneficial for him to operate this way. Like
in the portal?
Just because of the way he changes his mind on things and the way he runs his program, like it feels like he kind of mastered it, I feel like.
Maybe, but it doesn't change the fact that his secondary had to replace all 5 guys, and they got absolutely torched the first 5 games of the year. If Arkansas doesn't fumble, what's the outcome in that game?
That's fair.
Okay, and there's a couple other examples of that. Like, if LSU could protect at all, and was getting sacked on 3-man rushes, you know what I mean? Like, I don't blame him for being. That's a hard way to live, dude. You got to hit every year.
It is, but you could say that you'd have to hit on your high school kids nowadays as well.
I don't disagree with that, but at least in high school you have some culture. Like why'd they lose 3 games in 2024?
Well, I think his culture sort of is a little bit different also. Like I think he drives it a little bit differently. It's very much like, hey, I'm going to do this for you. You need to do this for me. If you can't pull your end, then you're done. If I can't pull my end, I'll be done. And you just kind of, there it goes.
Why'd they lose 3 games in 2024 with the best roster in the country?
Totally fair.
Culture.
Maybe.
100% culture.
I would have said lack of physicality, but.
Well, lack of physicality, culture, and a quarterback that tried to do way too much at times.
We had the discussion of one thing you just said the other day when you were out, and that was LSU definitively a top 5 job.
Top 3.
Okay, we'll discuss that when we come back on the other side, because I think it might be a little more tricky than some think when you really begin to look at it. Don't get caught in the cold, though. Schedule your system checkup now from a Train Comfort specialist. Train has been recognized 11 consecutive years as America's most trusted HVAC brand, and our exclusive home comfort partners here at Jocks. Visit Train.com to find a comfort specialist near you. Remember, it's hard to find a Train. Is LSU a top 3 job in America? We discuss that next right here on Jocks. So we debated this earlier in the week, not for a lengthy period of time, but just kind of for a few moments when it came up, because there was people definitively saying that this was a top 3, top 5 job in the country. I think I would normally agree and just say, yeah, 100%. It's LSU. Look who's won there. Look at the recruiting ground. I do think now, though, that where things are different, I'm not sure we know what exactly the top 3, top 5 jobs in America are. I think it could change. It can be very different at different times right now. But I'll ask you this question this way first. Ohio State a top 5 job?
Yes, number 1.
Texas a top 5 job?
When run correctly, yes.
Texas a top 5 job?
When run correctly, yes. There's a lot. You got to deal with a lot of cooks.
Sounds
in the
like
kitchen.
more yes than no, so I'm going to say yes.
I would lean towards yes, but I would say it's right on the fringe.
Okay. Alabama a top 5 job?
Fringe.
Are we going to get a yes or a no on any of these?
I'll just give you the top 5 if you're ready.
Notre Dame a top 5 job?
Yes.
Okay.
Right now, there's no academic hurdles like there once was.
If you lumped Alabama in, that would be 4. And then you have, obviously, you brought up LSU, but you still would have.
Hang on a second. We're Georgia. Absolutely top 3 job. To me, the top 3 jobs are in no particular order: Ohio State, LSU, Georgia.
Ohio State, LSU, Georgia, top 3.
Yes.
And then
I think the next 4 are an interesting conversation. That's why I say Bama fringe, Texas fringe, because they're in that too. I think they're in that too that are like, okay, close. You know what I mean? Like, depending on the week, you can make a case. Well, yeah, they're there. The next 4 in no particular order, I think it, like I said, depends on the day, are some variation of Florida, Texas, Bama, Notre Dame.
Where's Oregon in all this right now?
Oregon, to me, is still in a tricky position because they've never won anything. They're glamorous. They're sexy. They're all these things. You're still an outpost. You still have to pay a premium for kids to go to school there, and that's a difficult spot to be in.
Okay.
No, it's a top 10 job, perhaps. But I don't know if I have it as top 5.
All right. Is Michigan knocking on the door here?
I don't think so.
Really?
Top 5?
I'm not saying definitively they're in the top 5, but I'm saying they would probably be. So if we
I'd put them in probably the next tier category, yeah.
If we took yours, Ohio State, Georgia, LSU.
Yes.
So then rounding out the top 5 would be who? Bama, Notre Dame, Texas, Bama?
Like I said, the next 4 are Texas, Bama, Florida, Notre Dame.
Texas, Bama, Florida, Notre Dame.
Yes.
So that would get us to 7.
Yes.
So now we're looking to finish our top 10. Michigan might not be there.
No, I think Michigan's in that next miss. Michigan, Oregon, Tennessee, Texas A&M, which has become a great job. Miami, I think, is a great job.
No Penn State?
Who?
No Penn State?
Doesn't feel like it right now.
Maybe top 25. Depends on who the AD is.
If you kept making your list, when do you think you would get to a team that you just believe that's where they are because of either administration, support, what they probably could be, that people would say, well, how do you put them above all these other teams we've been naming? Like, who would be the first team that surprised folks that wouldn't be as obvious when we were going down this list?
SMU.
That's a good thought there.
I think that'd be one where it's like, whoa, okay, I'll take that one. You know what I mean? Like, that's a very, very, very
obviously access to talent's
job.
not going to be a problem. Financially, you're going to have all the resources you need.
Yes.
That wouldn't be a problem.
I think SC is still a very attractive job. I think I don't know if I have it like top 10 anymore. The problem to me in these big city schools, I think those jobs are harder now. The big city schools, because the built-in accountability that you have in a small school is a little bit more manageable. Like, for example, like you want to go burn it to the ground on a Thursday night, and I guess what? I make $1 million a year as the starting quarterback in Alabama. Like, I want to go burn it down at Galette's on Friday night or Thursday night. People can know about it. If I'm in Southern Cal and I want to go to West Hollywood and go have a big night, they're looking for Michael J. Fox.
Oh,
not me. That was the first actor that came to mind. I don't know why. Michael, I feel like Michael J. Fox probably has pretty good time. I don't know.
there's
Somebody else.
Probably time there
Yeah.
at one point.
Charlie Sheen, whatever.
That's a different time.
Yeah. They're not, the paparazzi ain't looking for the starting quarterback of UCLA. Let's just say that.
Which one in your top 10 or top 15, like once we get past the top 5 or 6, should be in the top 5? For whatever reason, for any reason you want to pick. Which
That's
one
in
should
the
be
top
up there?
10 that should be in the top 5?
Or top 15 that should be in the top 5. But they just can't find their way there. I mean, is it Alabama?
No, because I think Alabama is very much behind. Like those, okay, yes, there's a very vocal minority that's always miserable. But I think as far as alignment, like Alabama, they get it done. When you talk about the Alabama job, if Kalen DeBoer went to the board and or to Greg Byrne, who then went to the board and said, hey, look, we need this to win, there would be a sledgehammer in the wall before the board voted on it. That's why Alabama, to me, is as good a job as any. We don't have the pockets that everybody else has. That's fine. Guess what? We'll move mountains to give you an advantage. And guess what? We all will get in line to make sure that this program is in a position to always win. Like, that's the difference between Alabama and many others. Other places, it's like, Ego needs to be massaged here. This booster's upset because he only got 6 sideline passes as opposed to the 8 that this booster got. And it's like catty, petty. Like that's what makes some jobs very unattractive. It's like, because you got to deal with nonsense. At Alabama, it's like, does it help you win? Yes, perfect. Let's do it. I don't care how many sideline passes you get. I don't care. I want to win. We need to win. That's all that matters. And that's why I think it's a great job. Kalen DeBoer has not been told no, not one time since he arrived in Tuscaloosa. Nick Saban in 17 years not told one time that no, we can't do that, coach. That's why I think it's a good job. But I think that there are some places where it could be like that, but it hasn't been for whatever reason. Like Auburn to me should be a super top tier job, but it's not.
Yeah, no, that's
an example.
That's an easy one though for us to all look at and say, based on the fan support, the resources, the facilities, based on some success at different times, it should be more sustainable. There's no doubt.
Yeah, they should be able to win 10 games multiple years in a row, more than twice in their history.
Yeah, and it's continuing to get in its own way.
Correct.
Frustrating as it is, it's just unfortunately how it happens.
North Carolina should be a great job.
Yeah, and that's one we've talked about before that some of us can't even really put our finger on just exactly how and why that one can't work itself out.
Because they're school colors.
Well, now it's, okay. That is one
that doesn't help.
You've given that to us as an indicator of not going to be able to make it.
Tell me I'm wrong.
You may or may not be wrong.
Okay. But Cole, like deep down in his heart of hearts, knows that like that is a challenge. Mentally, when you
I don't know if it's a challenge.
How
I just
often
think
are you wearing Tar Heel blue?
I think it's like an unfortunate reality. I do have a pair of like the UNC like Jordan 3s.
I don't see you wearing them very much.
I don't wear those much at all anymore.
I wonder why.
That's actually not the reason at all.
No, whatever. Because if you wide out in public wearing them, you might get your tail kicked.
People would say, "Oh, he's soft."
Look at those shoes.
You know what that guy?
Get those clean today.
You know what that guy don't do? Put his hand in that day.
Yeah. Blue collar Cole over here, rocking some Jordan 11s. Or you said 3s or 11s?
3s.
Ooh, I need to see those.
Well,
you might need to start wearing them.
Okay. Well, maybe tomorrow. I want to tell you quickly about Game Day Men's Health. You can go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com right now if you are feeling on edge, lacking energy, lacking sleep. If you need to lose weight, specifically after Thanksgiving, they can help you out. They have multiple weight loss programs in-house they can get you on. GameDayMen'sHealth.com, free consultation. You can sign up today. Get the free PSA test, free testosterone test, holistic approach to health and wellness. Minimal upfront cost from the programs they offer. That's different than other places in town. And you save 10% on any service they offer by mentioning Mac and Cube when you walk in the front door. Open now in Trustville, open in Tuscaloosa, open in Auburn. Go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com today. So you mentioned North Carolina and the uniforms being an indicator of maybe what they can and cannot do.
I don't know this for sure. I just think it's subconscious.
I have a new theory about winning national championships. And there is a position that is a direct indicator of are you or are you not able to do that? I'll tell you what that theory is and what the indicator is. You tell me if you think I'm right or wrong next, right here on Jocks. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. I was having an interesting conversation a couple days ago with our buddy Josh Pate when he joined the show. When I asked him to come on, we were talking about national champions and who in this field maybe should be looked at as the favorite or the team that will be ahead of everybody else when they go in. And we started talking about wide receivers. And he brought up this question that I'm going to pose to you because I now think that my mind has completely been changed on picking national champions.
Yes.
Could you judge a team's opportunity to win a national championship? I'm going to phrase this my way. There are a lot of ways that I think we can phrase it. Like, I think you could use lack of divaness or
Will y'all look up divaness?
divisness. I don't know if that guy in the spelling bee would have hit that one.
No, divisness
through
was
the
that.
other day.
Divisness. Divisness.
I don't know how you would look at that one, how you would even state it.
All I can hear is like giving them to business. Like it's all
Fair,
I can hear.
same thing.
The business. Giving them to business.
I'm going to state it this way. Could you judge a team's overall character by how rugged their wide receiver room is? When we're referencing, can you win a national title? Like, is it even possible? So, go last year to Ohio State. Didn't feel like there was, really good, but was that like a soft diva wide receiver room? It didn't feel like it to me.
I would say no.
We're not even going to pretend like the Michigan wide receiver room had divas.
That'd be a no.
Yeah. 22-21 Georgia with Ladd McConkey, Marcus, Rosemary, Jack Saint. Now, Jermaine Burton thing was a little weird.
Bowers.
You could throw him in the mix there. I mean, if you
Burton was gone by then. Burton was at Bama.
No, the first one though, he won in 21. He was there.
Yeah.
So if I'm kind of putting
What's
these
he
together.
doing now, by the way?
I think is he not with the Bengals anymore?
Is he still there?
If you want to throw tight ends in, you had Darnell Washington. She basically had a tackle playing tight end. George Pickens was on that team. You're not going to accuse him of being a diva, I don't think. I mean, maybe a little much, but
nah.
So I don't think we'd qualify that room that way. 2020 Bama.
That'd be a no.
Is that a diva-led wide receiver room?
No.
I mean,
Waddle played in the national championship on a broken leg.
So,
So he's Greg Jennings.
He did it for us. He did it for Madden.
So that 2020 room.
No.
Waddle, Mechie.
Heisman Trophy winner.
He bounced back from cancer. I feel like he brings a little bit of extra toughness.
100%.
Slade Bolden. Not a lot of diva in there with him.
What's Slade Bolden doing now?
Just
God, I haven't heard that name in a minute.
Now, and Damien and I kind of laughed about this one after the show yesterday. People would say yes to 2019 LSU. I would directly push back against that. I think people would see the gritty and you know some of the antics, and they'd be like, "Oh, there's a whole room of divas." Like, but those dudes, they got after it.
Yeah, they did the gritty after they scored 27 touchdowns.
A lot of touchdowns.
Right.
They've earned the right to do the gritty. I'm fine with that.
I'm saying people would look at that and say,
hand the bow to the official.
Yeah, I think that they didn't. They weren't tough.
They didn't have to.
Those did they? But like you watched them on screens and stuff that year.
Yeah.
They blocked.
Yeah.
I mean, they were pretty rugged. 2018 Clemson had Justin Ross, T. Higgins, Amari Rogers, Hunter Renfrow. I don't view that as like maybe I should state it as more of a problem room. Like if you have a problem wide receiver room, you're probably not winning a national title.
Yeah.
2017 Alabama. Was that a problem wide receiver room?
No, like I think there's something to say though. Like I'm still
Calvin
thinking back.
Ridley, Jerry Jeudy, Henry
I'm still
Ruggs.
thinking back to like 2020. Like I loved Slade Bolden. You know what I mean? Like I loved. That's probably the best.
Slade Bolden made some big catches.
God,
that
he
year.
was awesome. I forgot about him. Like, golly, he was a great player. Like, but that you need like a couple of guys that are gonna like be some. I'm not gonna say like hard hat guys. And not that Slade Bolden was. I'm not trying to. Don't you start, Damien. It's not even that.
No, not at all.
I know what you're thinking.
You need some coaches on the field.
I don't
need a few.
No.
Gotta have a few.
No, but like you needed role guys. Like, all right, this guy's your vertical guy.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's your over the middle guy. This guy's your option route runner. Then this guy's your alpha dog. Your Devont. You know what I mean? Like, I think having a receiver room with good versatility, then everyone has an identified role, is really valuable.
And then maybe what you don't need is the guys that don't complain about not getting the ball enough when they do
100%.
act in those roles.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, like I think that's big. But I was having this conversation. If we go beyond the diva conversation, I was having this conversation with Mike Elko last week. And he asked me a question point blank. He goes, tell me since 2017, 2016, last 8, 9, 10 years in the SEC, tell me a team that has been the, quote, best team in the SEC that didn't have the best receivers.
All right, so here's what we're going to do quickly.
And I started to think about it. I was like, dang.
No, I mean, it would be hard for me to just come up with it that way, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna go to 2016.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna look at the SEC leading receivers.
All right.
So Alabama won the national title in 17. You would say Alabama, Georgia, the best teams in the league.
Yes.
Jamon Moore led the league in receiving at Missouri. You had Evan Ingram at Ole Miss would be next.
But Ole Miss was good.
Josh Reynolds at A&M would be next. Josh Reynolds would get after you, though.
Yeah, he was a beast.
Debo at South Carolina. Josh Malone, Tennessee. Ardarius Stewart, Bama. Christian Kirk, A&M.
You're talking about 2016?
This is 2016.
Reminder, Jalen Hurts, freshman.
Okay. Ardarius Stewart, Christian Kirk, Fred Ross, Keon Hatcher, Arkansas. Antonio Callaway, Florida. Demarius Stringfellow, Ole Miss. Drew Morgan, Arkansas. Donald Gray, Mississippi State. Jeff Badette, Kentucky. Calvin Ridley, Bama. Malachi Dupree, LSU. Brian Edwards, South Carolina. It sounds like it's Bama. We haven't had a Georgia receiver yet. Isaiah McKenzie.
Was Georgia good in 16? No, Georgia in 16 was Kirby's first year, and they were like 9-4.
So they weren't great.
No.
Number 25 in the SEC that year, Tony Stevens at Auburn. What?
Who?
What?
LSU had DJ Chark, Malachi Dupree. South Carolina may have given him a push that year with Debo Samuel, Brian Edwards. Brian Edwards was really good in college. But it sounds like it's just a younger Bama group that was probably the best, but weren't able to really show it. Maybe A&M would be able to make a push for it. Speedy Noel, A&M.
Oh gosh.
Ricky Seals-Jones. Now, Ricky Seals-Jones would ruin
He was
you.
a beast.
Yeah.
I love Ricky Seals. These are I love this game.
It's a throwback.
So many good. There's been a lot of great wideouts.
A&M would make a Christian Kirk was big time in college.
Oh,
man.
absolutely.
A&M would make a case for it that year. 17. Now, this is where it's going to get really fun because it is the best team in 17 was who? Bama?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not Alabama.
Is it AJ
I actually
Brown?
had this argument on this radio station, and Alabama fans lost their minds because I said it was Ole Miss.
Yeah, DK and AJ Brown.
Well,
And we can stop the
like
conversation.
after
right
the
there.
fact.
We can
after-
stop right there.
After the
We can go
fact,
further.
DK was not as good in college.
No.
He became a better pro than he was in college.
39 for 646 and 7 touchdowns that year.
Yeah.
He was just a straight line guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
A.J. Brown, 75 for 1252 and 11 touchdowns.
Nah, he
AJ
was
Brown was a monster.
Yeah, he was different.
Was that Ta'amu?
Did not have as many receptions, I forgot about this, as Ryan Davis, though. 84 for 815, 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That was a lot of screens from Auburn that year.
Yeah.
A lot of screens. Alabama that year had Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
I'm going down the list of leading receivers.
Yes.
I can't believe I'm still going. That's literally all we have.
That's all you got?
I'm going to have to go look at Bama that year. All right, so Bama receiving in 17 would have been Ridley with 63. Goodness gracious. Jerry Jeudy with 14. Ruggs with 12. Cam Sims 14. Robert Foster, excuse me. Josh Jacobs
I was going
14.
to say Reuben Foster.
Bo Scarborough
Yeah.
was second on the team in receptions with 17.
Who was OC during that time?
Was that Dable?
Dable.
Yeah.
Mm.
Ooh.
It's a different
That
time,
was
man.
Jalen Hurts. Completed 60% of his passes, 2,081 yards, 17 touchdowns to 1 interception.
Huh.
Damian Harris ran for 1,000 yards on the nose.
On the button?
On the button.
Love it.
All right, so that'd be 17. I think it's going to be Ole Miss. 18. You're going to be hard not to beat them again. But South Carolina also gave you Brian Edwards, Debo Samuel again with Shi Smith. Ole Miss also had DeMarcus Lodge that year.
He was great. He was a good player.
Man, I hadn't heard that name in a while.
I know there's so many names I hadn't heard in a minute.
Kalijah Lipscomb, Vanderbilt, 5th in the league in receptions.
You better believe it.
That was
All right, go to 18. Starting then.
But Bama's in the mix here now.
In
'Cause
18 or
this is
17?
In 18. This is Judy.
18
This is
ripping.
Judy, Waddle,
Yeah.
Smith, Ruggs, all coming in. So
All right. And who did Bama beat in the SEC that year? That'd be Georgia.
Georgia.
Who did they have?
Riley Ridley
Yeah.
Mecole Hardman,
Nicole was good.
He's fast.
Isaac Nada,
Ooh.
Jeremiah Holloman. We've thrown in tight ends before, so I'm gonna throw him in.
Yeah, put tight ends in there.
Bama would have the edge over.
All right, so Bama wins. Bama wins 18. All right, next.
Well, technically, Ole Miss wins, but it's okay.
In 18?
But Bama.
You can't say DK. Can't say DK Metcalf in college. He's a better pro.
They also had Elijah Moore that year.
Elijah Moore was great.
Elijah Moore with AJ Brown
With
and
A.J.
DK
Brown.
Elijah Moore became better.
and DeMarcus Lodge.
Pretty good.
I would say that year that's a better core.
All right.
But again, this is why I got in trouble for saying this on this radio station.
All right, 19.
19 would be
LSU.
LSU. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. Oh, my Lord. Just for fun. Jamar Chase, 84 for 1780 and 20 touchdowns. Justin Jefferson, his teammate, 111 for 1540 and 18 touchdowns.
All right.
That ain't even right.
That's not fair. All right, next, 20.
By the way, Terrace Marshall that year caught 46 for 671 and 13 touchdowns.
Yeah. He's a good player.
Spread the wealth, man.
Poor Thad Moss down there with 47 catches for 570 and 4 touchdowns.
Somebody's got to get the scraps.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire caught 55 balls.
It's insane. All right, next.
All right. 2020, we already said Alabama.
Yeah. Bama. Yes.
Devontae Smith. Heisman Trophy winner.
Correct.
Let's go.
You
All
don't
right.
want to go Elijah Moore and Kenny Yeboah from Ole Miss?
Oh, Kenny Yeboah.
man.
I liked Kenny Yeboah.
I hadn't heard that name in a minute.
That was
Oh, no. What I will tell you, does Florida give him a push here?
well, 2020, Florida made the SEC championship.
Oh, yeah. That was Kyle Pitts and
Kadarius Toney, Trayvon Grimes.
Not bad.
Still probably lean Bama there.
All right.
21,
Yes.
Jamison Williams, Bama.
Okay.
Wandale Robinson, Kentucky. Traylon Burks, Arkansas. John Mechie, Bama. Dontario Drummond, Ole Miss. Cedric Tillman, Tennessee. Makai Polk, Mississippi State, had 105 catches for 1,046 yards and 9 touchdowns.
Nice.
Josh Ali, Kentucky. That's a forgotten name.
I forgot him.
Brock Bowers, Georgia. Chris Pierce Jr., Vandy. Will Shepard, Vandy. Vandy in the mix all of a sudden.
Heck yeah.
Times are
Josh
changing.
Van, South Carolina. Braylon Sanders, Ole Miss. I think this is probably going to end up being Bama.
Of course.
Well, Bowers didn't stink.
No, but
No.
I'm trying to see what Georgia countered with there. Jermaine Burton with a little Lad McConkey and A.D. Mitchell. So they were coming in.
Pretty good.
Maybe this is before A.D. started dropping passes.
Easy. All right, next, 22.
2022.
Bowers, that's all you need.
Bowers was in there, but also just keep in mind quickly, Evan Stewart, Moose Muhammad at A&M. Okay, that's going to be it. Sorry. I don't know who else Georgia's going to have, though. Like, they have Bowers and Ladd
Bowers, Ladd, not bad.
and Kenny McIntosh out of the backfield.
All
Who
right,
else would have been in the mix in 20? I'm just trying to see if anybody else would have been there.
22.
22. You had Keyshawn Boutte and Malik Neighbors at LSU.
Pretty
They would
good.
have been in the mix
Yeah.
with Dre Jenkins and Mason Taylor. I thought Dre Jenkins was going to be really good. 23. It's LSU.
LSU's the best in 22?
In 23.
Oh,
Neighbors and Thomas.
Yes.
yeah, pretty good.
Sprinkle in a little Kyron Lacey
And they went to the SEC championship, correct?
with some Mason Taylor helping out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they did.
They went to the SEC championship,
Correct.
lost to Georgia.
But Georgia would have been bad that year. And then 24. Oh, wow. Do you guys know who led the SEC in receiving yards in 24? We had this conversation going into the season because we asked about who led the league in receiving the year before. There was
Last-
only 1,000-yard receiver in 24.
Last year.
This is 25, so 24 would be last year.
Yes. So
I don't think you'll ever get it.
the leading receiver
Yards-wise.
in yards last year in the SEC. Stand by. I'm gonna
What school? No.
don't say what school.
Because I feel like it was one of them outlier. Was it?
I'll tell you this. An Auburn receiver was second.
Yeah, Keandre Lambert Smith.
Was
Oh.
it Arkansas?
Mm-hmm.
Armstrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
78 for 1140.
It's amazing.
One touchdown.
One?
Singular touchdown.
Uno. And then this year, best receivers.
A&M?
A&M and Bama, I think.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be Oklahoma, but they didn't.
But I'll be honest with you, I think Georgia's pretty close.
Georgia's up there.
They're up there. I think it's just crazy because it's always been like a line of scrimmage league. I think the SEC has very much changed to like quarterback, wide out, D-line.
But we were told before the season it was Auburn, so that didn't work.
Oh,
Your practice didn't work there.
I forgot that Cam Coleman's the greatest player in the history of college football.
No, it's Jeremiah Smith.
He determines who's coaching.
Oh boy.
But honestly, like I look at Auburn, I think their wideouts are really good, excellent. But you also kind of have to have the guy throwing it to him.
Speaking of the guy that was trying to throw to him, or at least one, his coach had some interesting things to say yesterday. We will discuss that next, right here on Jocks. Thursday, December 4th, 7:52 a.m. right here on Jocks, 800-239-9569, 800-239-WJOX. Get to your calls here in just a moment. You can text in 205-834-9450. It's a fair point. Tell our friends quickly, Greg, about Polar Bear Services.
Polar Bear Services is the one-stop shop here in Birmingham and the entire state of Alabama. They can probably get you taken care of. Just call them. You see if Weston and the guys can come see you. They've helped me out so many times, whether it's down in Alex City, in Birmingham, you name it. They've just helped me out. I've always been grateful to the experience that I get. And my HVAC system is running overtime right now. Literally, it'll be cold, so I'll turn on the heat, and then I'll be sweating. I'll turn on the AC. Like, I'm my own worst enemy. But the good news is I know my system's up to the task because Polar Bear Service has been taking care of it. We do those regular checkups twice annually. It makes sure that everything's good to go. We do system tune-ups, duct cleaning, repair. They can even do new installation. Call them for any of your home comfort system needs. They can also help you with some electrical work, plumbing, and at some point, I want to get one of those whole home generators, so I'm not in a bind when the power goes out. I've been using Polar Bear Service forever. I know you guys will really appreciate the service and the professionalism that they provide you. So remember, if you have a problem with your electrical, plumbing, heater, air, just pick up the phone and call the Bear. It's 205-497-BEAR. 497-BEAR.
Let's quickly go to Scoobs on the Higginbotham hotline. He wants to chime in. Welcome in, Scoobs.
Hey, good morning, guys. How are you?
Doing great, thanks.
I want to get into a little bit of a discussion right quick with Greg on his comments about LSU being the superior job to Alabama. I'm just curious your points on that, and then I want to give you mine.
Well, I think it's the only Power 5 job in the state, in a state that is ridiculously rich with talent. Alabama has to share it a little bit here in a state with, 6 million folks or so? And while Alabama has the lion's share of fans, it's still shared to an extent.
Bama don't have to share with the Saints.
So shared fans is what you're telling me makes it a superior job just because it's the only Power 5?
Just less competition.
You don't base it off college and enrollees, most success in the NFL, historically all time, wins and losses. You don't take any of that into NIL as far as the budget.
I think
What
their
LSU's
NIL
had
budget
to work
is
out in the last decade.
I think their NIL budget is absolutely comparable. I think in many ways they might have more money.
Well, I just I don't know. I just kind of find it hard. The only argument that I have for you right now, not all time, but currently, is because who they have taking over the program, and that's Lane Kiffin. I think that changes it. But he's done nothing yet on the field. But as far as LSU and Alabama,
Ed Ogeron won a championship. Like that, you know how hard that is to do? Like Ed Ogeron was 10-25 in his tenure at Ole Miss before becoming the head coach at LSU and won a national championship, man. Gene
Chizik did it at Auburn. Look at what he did. He had Cam Newton.
That's accurate.
Ed Ogeron had Joe Burrow.
And several others, too. But I think
Auburn here's the chat.
I think perennially, I don't know if Ed Ogeron could have won a national championship at Bama. I mean, I think that's my only case.
We both got our own sides.
We're splitting hairs, though. We're talking about a top 5 program. And that's why Georgia, to me, is a top 5 program. They're the only show in town. You can say Georgia Tech. Yeah, but not really. They're the only show in town, a very talent-rich state. LSU, same way. Ohio State, same way. The Ohio Bobcats are not moving the needle. I think when you are the only show in town in a really talented state, that is an advantage. And Alabama does have to share it a little bit with Auburn for sure. So I do think that factors in some.
All right, we'll continue the conversation around maybe top programs, top wide receiver rooms, and is our theory correct based on this year's field? Next.